Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell people how to live their lives and how to handle their personal problems, and really it's up to you if you want to listen to me or not. Because the one thing I want to convey is the practicality behind the advice that I like to give and, how anyone can apply it. Now, from my understanding, the first thing we need to realize is that there's a direct distinction between fear and anxiety altogether, even though some people may not realize this. Whether our fears are irrational or what we feel that we conspire is likely to come true, there's a big difference between the two altogether. So, in order to have an actual fear, there must be a reasonable cause. And to have anxiety, although it can be accompanied with an increase in your vigilance, that's not always the case, because emotions that you feel as a result of this don't always say for certain that any consequences are definite, but at the same time, it's pretty hard, if not impossible, to feel one without the other. One example I read about is if someone with a short fuse has a gun or a knife pointed at you for whatever reason, naturally you're going to be scared because the threat is imminent and right in front of you. That's something you need to fear. And again, fear is accompanied by anxiety. So in this case, it's going to be the result of worrying what they're going to do next. In a nutshell, the fear for your life is present, obviously, but you still don't know the outcome. And that's enough to fuck you up mentally if you're not careful, or even physically in this case. There's a quote said by a French philosopher in the 1500s that said this: "He who fears he shall suffer already suffers what he fears." In other words, fear induced by anxiety is an irrational fear, even if it's based on past events. Point being that the outcome is not certain whether you see what you think is predictable as an outcome or not. But in some cases, all it takes is an act of faith to help correct your attitude towards something that's troubling you or how to address a given situation. As a result, this can help us act the way we should if we want to get to the root of the matter. So for anyone struggling to keep their anxiety at bay, the solution to our problems is usually found within ourselves. You can ask for input from anyone you know that may give you some good insight, but in my opinion, no one's going to know how to help you more than you know how to help yourself.